Reagan and Tip O'Neill sat down, because Social Security in 1983 was in the midst of a real crisis. It was a crisis, not like it is today. Today we can pay out every benefit for the next 27 years. I didn't hear Senator Simpson talking about that reality. The fact is that in 1983, an arrangement was reached between Reagan and the Democrats, and that agreement, by and large, has worked pretty well. So where we are right now, which Mr. Simpson forgot to mention, is we have a $2.6 trillion surplus. Now, what's the answer? We can pay out every benefit owed to every eligible American for the next 20 years, so we're not in a crisis situation. But what the actuaries, these guys who sit around with their numbering pads there, want to figure out is how it is good for the next 75 years. And I'll tell you what I think the solution is. And somehow Senator Simpson neglected to talk about that. And that is to do what Barack Obama proposed when he was running for office, and I think has repeated since. And that is right now, Steve, if you make $106,000, you contribute, there's a cap on the amount of taxes you put into the Social Security Trust Fund. So if one person makes $1 billion a year and one person makes $106,000, they both contribute the same amount into the Social Security Trust Fund. What candidate Barack Obama proposed, which I think makes a lot of sense, is you have a bubble. You leave untouched income up to $250,000. So you're still at that 1/6 level. But then after $250,000, you lift that cap, and all of that new income is taxed at the same rate, comes into the Social Security Trust Fund. If you do that, Social Security will be strong for the next, I think, 55 or 60 years. And that's the solution to the problem.
The book is called The Speech, a historic filibuster on corporate greed and the decline of our middle class. The morning of Friday, December the 10th, you woke up, you went to the Senate floor, you started to deliver a speech. It became somewhat of an internet sensation. A lot of viewers on C-SPAN 2, a lot of Twitter followers. What happened?
Well, what happened is, many of the issues that I've been talking about now were taking place there. There was the need for an agreement on taxes. And the president sat down and he negotiated an agreement with the Republicans, which I thought was a very, very fair, very unfair agreement. What the president essentially allowed in that so-called compromise is the extension of the Bush tax breaks for the wealthy. And again, I find it incomprehensible how people can talk about deficit reduction when you continue to give hundreds of billions of dollars in tax breaks to the very wealthy.
Because in your speech, you point out that President Bush, when he took office,